the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was about my number one Canadian hero, number one bucko, Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, resigned. And I just wanted to give you guys just some, like, I guess, Ontario insider information. But that dude, he's such a clown. Like, it's ridiculous. Everyone here knows that. But I know people who took his class. And of course, like, he has, like, a certain type of charisma where if you don't really, like, listen into him, it's like, you're not really going to see the contradictions. And then also too, right? Maybe you're just in a class just to get the credit or whatever, right? So maybe you're not like engrossed enough. But I know past 4 years, he taught very little, if at all. But before he blew up, like, I know people who took his courses, and anytime like you would pressure him on any of the kind of weirder ideas he brought up, like, it would just like fall apart. Like this dude just has like barely any substance. I think some people hold his like whatever, like
self-help
Jungian. Yeah. And like people who really held that in regard. But I guess to give you guys even more context is that, so one of the things besides the bill that made him famous is, him lying about that hate speech trans bill that we all know is BS now. And that was a wrong interpretation. I think he generally did believe that people would be locked up for saying the wrong pronouns. But it was just completely wrong, and he never corrected himself. But during that time, he would, again, this shows what a media grifter he was. But when he had more goodwill, he was speaking at a lot of Canadian universities, right? So obviously, when you get into a controversy, that shows how honest and good faith you are. You're starting to book speaking arrangements. And the big and I guess it shows how it intersects with like kind of the left American ecosystem, because he went to McMaster University, where some kids protested him. And then I think that's where American media picked it up, right? The Ben Shapiro's and everything, they pointed it out. He went to my university. There weren't protests, but that's still when he had some goodwill. I went to a Western university up in London, Ontario. And at that time, I think even people like me were more receptive, kind of like, okay, like, listen to this dude, but you don't have to like him. But the thing is, at least among my friends and the people who knew him, like, he lost all the credibility in the world with like most, I think, Canadian university students. As soon as you said that forced monogamy stuff, where to me, that was like very mask off. So the fact he's resigning now, his tenure, is just like such a joke, because like, man, no one's taken you seriously for years. Even the people who, so I guess that was just my point, where it's like, I think this is just strictly a press move. And so he has to not do any university work and just fully 100% lean on into that full reactionary right, because we haven't been taking them seriously for years.
He's resigning from his tenured position, but he's now professor emeritus, which means he's basically taken an early retirement and negotiated that position with the university. But in a way that, he's sort of self-canceled like Barry Weiss. So now he has something to talk about next time he goes on Joe Rogan's show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to become a full-time professor at the University of Texas, Austin, that they're still trying to get off the ground, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
I haven't heard much about that since literally like a week after they announced it. A bunch of names started dropping out already. So I don't know what's going on with that now.
Well, they're still not accredited, so nothing really. But I mean, I'm sure like eventually it'll all fall apart and they'll blame the left, which is really, really sad because, I don't think anyone wants it to work more than us. Like, I would love the, kind of content that would come out of that farm.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for the call. We're going to hang up. Yep.
If I was making as much money cleaning your room as Jordan Peterson would, I would also quit the job that has standards.
I forgot he was still a professor after the whole like addicted to meat thing and then like medically induced coma. It kind of like slipped my mind that he was also somehow a psychologist, I guess.
Yeah.
Physician, heal thyself, I think is.
I mean, I don't want to like make light of anyone's suffering. It just seems like, after a while, the sort of like the pre downward slide credentials just become more and more doubtful.
Well, they do. They do say that sometimes psychologists are the craziest, but that's. I don't know how true that is.
I think it's true in Jordan Peterson's case.
It's true, yeah.
How much longer I can stay in, or how much more I got to pay